sure that I can make sure I have everything good here. One sec. Yeah, try to connect to the audio if you can, or unmute yourself. And I'll be able to hear you.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I couldn't find that. Hold on a second. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I keep freezing up here. I wonder why.
You have a good computer, good processor.
Well,
Okay.
I have to use my phone.
Oh, okay. And
There
your
you
phone's
go.
pretty good.
There we go.
And sometimes it just takes a little while to get the kinks out, like when it buffers or whatever in the beginning. As long as you have a good enough processor and everything, speed will not be a problem. You remember from when we did the interview, and then you've probably done some Zoom stuff before or after that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So it just
I hope that's the only thing about the videos. I hope people don't think they're gonna see Screamin Sam like the Sam Kinison guy. I'm trying to step away from that, you know what I mean? But we could talk about it.
I mean, I'm sure people are going to think that they think it's just going to be a recreation of the Sam Kinison tribute, but I
don't know if you expect me to shave for this or what.
Look at me. I mean, everybody thinks I have pubes on my face, so
It's called the bearded guys.
Well, I was thinking about calling us Renegade Radio. Would that work at all? Or the Renegades or something? I haven't came up with a post yet because I just literally got home here a couple hours ago. That's why when you originally posted what you posted, I said, can you change the time a little bit just so that we can wait until I mean, I told you I'd be ready, but I wasn't ready until around this time, just because I was now you're here.
Do you put the link on Facebook?
Yeah, I'll share with you here.
I have a couple of friends that would have came on today because they don't want to do the TV thing. I want to do radio like.
Oh, it is what we'll probably have to do then if that's the case. I mean, they don't have to like show themselves. I mean, like as far as like if they don't want to have their camera go live, if they're on their computer or phone, they can just turn the computer off or turn the monitor off or the video off and then go like that, I guess. If that's
you see my other glasses on these? No. You see my other glasses?
Hold on. You're talking to your wife, so
yeah.
Now you're talking to me, it's just like, I don't know, you have glasses on. Anyway, I shared it with a couple of pages and whatnot for now. Like I said, this is just our pilot, so it doesn't really matter. We can fuck up as much as we need to. People understand. You know, we're born fuck ups. We are still kind of fuck ups, and you know, let's just see what happens.
Okay, that's good for me.
So I'll start us off with a little introduction because it's about 7 o'clock my time now, 8 o'clock yours. So we'll just see where this goes and see what happens, and go from there, I guess. Because there's always so much we can do on Zoom compared to any other site that we go on. But I figure Zoom would be a good way to start it off anyway. For now,
can you share Zoom on anything or
you can? So if you want to start sharing the link that I sent you, you can go ahead and do all that if you want.
That's I'm using my one phone to use my other phone to share.
It's fun to multitask, you know. I swear, I feel like we're just doing a drug run now. I tell you.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
For Santa Claus, anyway. All right. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this great pilot edition of a podcast. Probably going to be called Renegade Radio. Maybe not. I'm not too sure yet. We'll figure it out as we go along. It's just a pilot right now. It's just with two guys that just want to like to talk and have a lot to discuss. And it's kind of like what I did earlier this summer with my friend Ryan. But for some reason, Ryan, you know, I'll say the word, I guess, to kind of pushed out, you know, of doing the podcast since we're going to edge it up a little bit here. And didn't even tell me why he was leaving me. Didn't even tell me, you know, we did 2 episodes and then all of a sudden he was not available for any more episodes. Probably because he works for the paper and he probably got in trouble for being a podcaster and going beyond the what the media, you know, is allowed to do or whatever. I don't know. But we're in a different environment now. Months have passed it's the end of summer, or we're getting close to the end of summer anyway. Some people have already started school already. Can you believe that shit? Oh my goodness,
Yep.
But they have. I don't ever remember starting school until after Labor Day, but I guess this is the world we live in
Right.
now.
After Memorial Day, right? Or
After Labor Day, yeah. Then you
Right,
you would get school redone by Memorial Day weekend, and that'd be like your first weekend of summer technically, and then we go until Labor Day, and then we go back to school. But whatever. Some places are different. I'm sure in your area it's different too. I'm sure. But anyway, I'm Frankie Slauson, along with my great co-hosts. Say who you are. Tell them about yourself.
Screamin Sam. Screamin Sam. The reason why I Screamin Sam is I'm sort of retired now. I was a Sam Kinison impersonator, a tribute artist, probably one of the finest in the country. And I haven't been doing it for a while. So that's why I grew a beard. I mean, a lot of people are probably coming on here thinking they're going to see the old Screamin Sam at my shows, but we're going to have just as much fun now as I did back in the day. So I've been wanting to do my own podcast or do something. And then Sean come up with me with this deal. And I said, absolutely will do it. You know what I mean? So if you people, whatever, you have any questions, have anything you want to talk about, if you have talent, if you have anything you want to talk about, we'll listen to you. We won't hang up on you unless you're an asshole, but we can say asshole, right?
Oh, absolutely. We can say whatever we want. This is more like a shock jock, kind of cleaner, dirty, whatever, but we're not gonna go too far. But we're just gonna go.
Want me to shave to look like Sam Kinison, you gotta send money to my fucking GoFundMe page.
That's right. Anyway, it's Screamin Sam, and I tell you, this will be a lot of fun because if you know the history between Sam and I, there's a little history, not a whole lot, but there's a little bit. I've interviewed him a few times. He's been nice enough to be a guest on any show I've ever asked him to do, whether it be just audio, whether it be just a video. And the last time it was about 2 years ago, and I still remember it. Sometimes I play that once in a while to remind people of that, how good that interview was.
Yeah, I saw that.
And you helped me get Bill. I've interviewed Bill once on another time back in the day, but like
we're gonna have Bill on here. I mean, I'm gonna get Bill on here. I wanted to see how tonight went, but you never know. Maybe starting next week or the week after, I'm gonna have some of my crew that was on my show, if you don't mind, to join our podcast.
It's both our shows. We can do. I don't care what you do.
I feel like Screamin Sam needs to have Wildman Vince and Waterboy at least. You know what I'm saying? And it's a crew, dude. I mean, you'd have fun because they're fun. They come up with like Waterboy we use for the news, and then we cut them down. And then Vince is like out there in La La Land. I mean, he's just, he's funny. He's a funny dude, man. He's funny people.
And with everything going on in the world today, I think we need those guys to come back.
Right. We need to be. Everything's so you have to be careful with everything. But on my show, I didn't care about being careful. I didn't give a shit. We did what we had to do on there. We were trying to get in trouble so we'd get publicity, and it never worked out.
Just when you really wanted it the most, then it's like, oh.
Yeah. So, like you hope for it, but you don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to cut down all kind of people and never ever, didn't help.
Well, it is what it is, and I say about doing like the shock jock stuff because the only shock jock that people know right now is Howard Stern.
Right.
That he's the only one that I know anyway, other than one other guy that I knew a few years ago who I wish you would have got to know. His name was Ray Petty, aka his shock jock name was RAUNCH FOXXX with 3 X's.
Right.
And he was very funny. You can look him up on YouTube. There's some videos. We might do some archive footage and show kind of people what he used to do before he passed away at the age of 59 back in on February 3rd, 2015. I'll never forget that day. That was, it's kind of a special day because it's the day the music died. Every year we talk about Buddy Holly, Rich Valens, Big Bopper, blah 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 blah. But the fact that my friend Ron's died that day too, after having a heart attack, and ever since then it hasn't going on the computer and just going to other people's shows just have never been the same ever since he left, because he used to do live stuff and he would have loved Zoom and everything because that would have been most of the stuff was on Skype, and we used to do like stick cam and blog TV and all types of stuff back in the day. And he was just a funny son of a bitch, and I miss him to this day. He was.
I mean, I can never fill. I will never fill his shoes. But let me tell you something. I think we're going to have a good time moving
Oh
forward.
yeah, absolutely.
You know
he was a great guy, and you're a great guy, and that's why I asked you to do this with me. I want to work with great people again. You know,
usually my best shows when I'm with my crew, our best shows are never, ever, ever, ever rehearsed. Ever. We don't talk about our show before we start. Matter of fact, Waterboy would come in right on time for the show. Me and Vince would be there a couple minutes early talking about other things. But when the show started, we just had that connection that we just went on. I mean, we just went off on everything. And
absolutely.
But like I said, Vince is a little crazy, but he's a lot of fun.
Well, that's good. That's good.
You might wear different costumes on the show.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine. You know, the one thing that's nice about this Zoom that I like anyway, the positive anyway, is the fact that because when you pay for the account, which I do a monthly $15 a month on here just because I want to keep it going.
Right.
You can have as many people out here as you want. Of course, the screens start getting smaller and smaller and smaller, but there you have guests. I think you can have at least 20, maybe 25, you know, if you want to. That's a little overkill, obviously, but it's like, but I've seen people do it, you know, like it was supposed to be used originally for like classroom and like when the pandemic came, it was a perfect source for that, you know, as a way to communicate with everybody who has technology now, you know, from little kids or old people.
It's a beautiful thing, technology.
Oh, absolutely, it is. It is.
You know, I know sometimes we're all in trouble because you can't go to a restaurant or anywhere without people being on their phones. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man, listen to what I'm saying. You know.
Well, but there is some kids out there and some families that still do it the old school way. I mean, yes, nowadays a lot more kids, even including I have nephews and nieces and stuff, and I know you have a grandkid and whatnot who, you know, loves technology, I'm sure. But when you tell them it's time to see the world, I'm sure without having too many outbursts, I'm sure they're accepting of it, or you have to be, I guess, or whatever.
Or you beat the fuck out of them.
Sure. And then he learns the language from grandpa.
If you beat him up, you got to use a phone book. You put the phone. No, never mind. I don't want to get into that.
Or you use the corner of your fist and it's a perfect spot. No. We don't want to, you know, induct that because that's not the first way to. And we'd be done by the end of the day, and we'd be flagged by Facebook, probably. You know, that's the only thing we gotta be careful about Facebook because they can, you know, you got Zuck out there, you know, sucking the Zuck out of everybody, you know.
Oh yeah, I know you gotta be careful with them. That's a bad thing.
But other than that, I mean, there are other platforms we could use, not just Facebook and all that. I just figure Facebook's a good way to do it because
are we live right now? Are we live on Facebook now or no?
We are pre-recording and we are live. We're doing two things at the same time.
On Facebook.
On Facebook. So if you go to Facebook now, I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't see it on here.
Well, did you hit refresh at all or F5 at all? I sent you a link on the
I got the link, but I know I can share that on Facebook.
You can share it wherever you want. Everywhere.
Oh, okay. I've been sharing it to my friends.
That's fine. You know? Yeah, I'm sure you got. That's what I say. I know you got a handful of people that will support this. And my problem is that I try to get people to support what I do, and it's sometimes it's like pulling teeth, literally. They know who I am, they know what I'm able to do, but when it comes to any like financial support or anything like just to watch a show, oh, we're busy, oh, we have other things to do. We're happy for you, Sean, but you know, get over it. You know, start stepping into reality. You know, you followed your dreams too long and you haven't been successful and blah 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 blah. Well, you know, and it's like, well, I've been a little successful, just not like financially, I guess. You know, I've been successful in other ways.
You had some good shows. I mean, you had good guests on, and I mean, your shows are good. I mean,
well, you figure that
take it a step further, Sean.
You figured that'd give me an instant job in a radio preference, but nobody wants to hire me. And I'm being truthful. I don't care. You know, it's like at this point, I don't give a shit anymore because that's why we do this. That's why we have our ability to come together and create something that's, you know, just an idea and it works out and people love it. And then eventually it grows, you know, like a big garden, you know, just grows. So
If it doesn't
yeah.
work out, it doesn't work out. I mean, we
So-
did our best.
So to kind of kick things off, what's been going on in your world there? You just recently celebrated an anniversary this weekend.
Just
How'd that
yesterday,
go?
the anniversary. Yep, I got married in Vegas where I did my Sam Kinison routine. It was really funny because we decided then to get married when we were down at the Vegas, doing the show.
Sure.
And it was a bunch of lookalikes there and that, but I kept breaking the microphone when I'm on there screaming. And then, and they're like, be careful, don't say this, don't say that. And I wouldn't listen to anybody when it comes to that. And then we decided to get married. So we had all lookalikes in our wedding. Like Robert De Niro was the person that gave my wife away. One of the fucking country singers was our best man. And then the maid of honor was that like Mimi on fucking, what's that Mimi on, the guy that does Price is Right.
Oh, Bob Barker? Oh, no, Drew Carey show.
Yeah, Drew Carey. Remember
Oh,
Drew Carey show?
Yeah.
Mimi?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget?
Lookalike was the maid of honor. And then all these lookalikes were in our wedding, and it was awesome. We actually got married in the same temple that Sam Kinison got married right before he died.
Oh, okay.
And they freaked out when they saw me. They freaked out, and they says, "You don't mind us taking extra pictures for the?" I guess Dinard. I guess they put extra pictures of me and my wife and I on there. It was a blast. We had a good time when we did that.
Well, yeah, because I thought Sam died, and then all of a sudden here he comes back from the dead. All of a sudden wants to get married again. It's like, what the fuck?
And through this whole Sam thing, I got to meet a lot of his friends that really accepted me. Bill Kinison. I mean, we met, and it was like we became friends. But see, you have to understand something. Like Bill would watch the show more without me looking like Sam than Dan looking like Sam, because he always told me it's not about you looking like Sam, because he really don't like impersonators. It's about me being a good guy. He likes me as a person.
Sure.
And that's why I try to keep these shows the way I want to do it. Like even my show, I start growing little beards and stuff like that, because I want to take Screamin Sam to another level, because I own that name. So I might as well use it, or else I just use my regular name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want to take that name to a different level. I mean, why can't I have a different little character or whatever?
Sure.
But it's just fun. And
so when you decided to get married, so your wife was pretty much attracted to the fact that you had this talent, or this not even just this talent. It's just like, oh, this was after the fact. Okay.
She didn't even like it. She don't even like it.
Even to this day, she's like, honey, come on now, grow up now.
I just sent her to get a bath. Especially like, start screaming and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, we'll get into some of that stuff, but like I said, we're gonna have fun to do a little everything. I mean,
absolutely. No, it's I tell you what, and living here in northern Minnesota, you just never know what you're gonna see, or what you expect. I live in a small town, in northern Minnesota, and it gets kind of boring over here, so you kind of keep yourself entertained. And I don't
tip at all.
What am I, Chris Farley off Tommy Boy? Come on now. I'm not that much of a hillbilly, am I? I'm sure some people probably do, but
yeah. Well, if I ever come visit, we'll go cow tipping. I always wanted to do that.
Oh, geez, is that like on your bucket list or something? Or Sam's bucket list: cow tipping, nothing else, just cow tipping. Yeah, I don't want to know what else you're gonna do with that cow. I'll leave that to your private sport. But we're
even you, Sean. I mean, you've been into this stuff how long now? I mean,
I've been doing the media thing since I guess since 2006, as far as like doing interviews, but like as far as like being involved in media, it was about 2002. I graduated from high school, and then eventually I did decide to go to college, and I don't know if I should have waited a year or so, like some people wait, after high school. Right. Did you ever try college at all or anything? Or
I did. I don't even have my diploma, bro. I don't even have my diploma.
Funny, I never asked you that, I would have known. Right? But, well, I mean, you obviously did pretty good for yourself without having that, but
Yeah, I went up to get my diploma. It was like this. I walked back with my book
yeah.
and I looked in it. It was empty. I was like, oh yeah, I
You
won.
still had a graduation even though you didn't graduate?
Yeah, we still had a party, everything. I mean,
Wow.
it's not like I open a book to everybody go, what the fuck? Where's my diploma? You know, but I
Okay.
still had to go through the process to get it because I did summer school. But see, back in the day, my mom and dad didn't have a lot of money.
Sure.
So we owed money for the school. My mom only owed like $125, and I couldn't get
Oh,
my diploma for that. I mean,
well,
I'd like to track it down.
so
but
you
the
had to,
school-
shit, you had to pay for lunches and stuff, I suppose, so.
You had to pay for everything. It's a Catholic school. I grew up in a Catholic school.
Oh, okay. Well, God bless you. Jeez.
Yeah. But
Wow.
yeah, but I mean, I had a great. I can't complain about my child life one fucking bit. I had the coolest friends. One of my best friends just died last week and broke my fucking heart. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But you know, it's I just have fun. I had fun all my life. There's no regrets. Nothing I would change. And you know, I got a beautiful family. I have fun. I have
You seem
fun,
like a
man.
fun person. That's why I wish you were.
I'm 65 years old and I still have fun.
I-
Like a lot of people I work with go, you don't look like a guy 65 years old, you know.
Yeah, for me, you at least look like you're at least maybe early 50s at least, just because of the gray
Without the
beard.
beard, I look like a really young guy.
You'd probably say about probably 40s, probably then. I'd say.
Yeah, my skin's real like clean, and maybe one day I will shave for the show. You never know.
Well, I've seen what you look like without your beard, and you look totally different. Oh my God,
Right.
man!
I look like
It's
a different guy.
And
But
when
see, I
you,
got this character I do in the winter for
yeah,
Christmas. It's called Screamin Sammy Claus.
how original. Where are all your ho ho hos at then? Are they with you at that time?
Oh, bitch.
See, we can say that because it's a Christmas theme, right? You know, we can say
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah, no big deal. Don't get offended on anybody, please. It's all humor and
This
everything.
is this like next week's show. We'll push it all week. You know what I'm saying? We'll push it, and then
Yeah,
like I said, I'll get a couple people on here for sure. At first I wasn't gonna like the TV either, the TV
Yeah.
thing,
oh, yeah.
because they want to see everybody's expecting to see Sam McKinnison, and I apologize because first of all, this is just a test run. If this works out really great, I'll shave my beard off, damn it. But you know, like I just like grown beards. I always had beards when I was younger. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But
Well, here's a way that people can actually, really help us financially, at least get us started anyway. Because I always hate asking for money. So Facebook has done something where they, for anybody that has helped people who are professional Facebook people, like I guess my Facebook status is actually a professional Facebooker now. For some
Right.
reason, I didn't, just it's been that way for a little bit, but I haven't got no money or anything from anybody or anything. But they have this thing where you can send stars, and I don't mean like a picture of a star, an actual star. It just automatically comes up every time I go live now on my feed, and I don't do nothing. It just comes up, and you can give how many stars you want, and that's like my money, or
it's
that's like
almost like
your fun.
TikTok.
Yeah, or like we tried Patreon and stuff, but I just don't feel like people are interested in my content enough to want to pay for it. Let alone if we start doing more live stuff like this, and do it live rather than pre-record, that increase the chances of people paying attention to what we're doing, and maybe they'll start sharing these stars around, and then that'll give us a little bit of extra money or whatever for production, and go back into production basically anyway. So if I want to upgrade something or whatever, we could do that, and it just go right back into the show, because I have no need to use it for anything other than that. I would like to have fancy flashy signs and just cool little things that you see on some people that broadcast literally from a radio show sometimes, when they treat it like a real radio show, and it's like, this is how we do it. So I mean, for us right now we're using Zoom, but eventually we might use something else if there's something better to come along. The audio thing kind of sucks only because to record your audio, like it'll hear us talking, but there's a trick to getting the audio to play, like if you want to play music or something, or a video clip or whatever, and share it. There's a trick to doing that, and I forgot what that trick is. I have to go back and figure it out, and then once I figure that out, then we'll be able to do stuff like that. If it doesn't work that way, then there are other programs that we can use and still use Zoom, but also incorporate the audio if we want to play like a prank call or something like that, or something fun,
Right.
we can do that. But for right now, it's just us talking. So it's just
Yeah.
that's pretty much what you're stuck with.
We gotta, you gotta build this up. It's like everything else. I mean, I did my show for the first time. I didn't have thousands of people, you know what I mean? I had a couple, you know what I'm saying? But the word gets out, hey, there's a show on Sunday night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you want to switch another night? I don't know. I don't care. But we could do anything you want. But Sunday night's good for now. We'll do,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm gonna try to get some people together this week for sure. And it'll be a more interesting show when you click on, when someone clicks on to see us, it'll be a whole different show, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to bring in some guests as well too. And eventually I will. We'll kind of flip-flop around and see what we can do. And it's not a race of who has, the better guests or whatever. It's just let's just bring some people, just bring some people, keep these people entertained, because I'm sure they'll get sick of us, after a while, if we're not funny enough for everybody.
But
That's
you ever
why
hear Bubba Love Sponge?
I have. He's
got a
another shop
podcast.
truck. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got another podcast, I guess, now on Facebook.
Yeah, he's
it's
very
Zoom.
well known.
Yeah, but dude, I'm telling you, he only gets like maybe 10 people on his show.
Oh.
No, but I'm sure like a lot of people will click on his thing and watch it after the fact too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've heard that with my stuff too. Like, in the past, if I recorded something, people like to watch it
You get
later.
more hits. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
you get
mean,
more
it's
hits.
like for right now, it's just I figure Sunday night is better. The only thing that sucks is that we're in a different time, location. Like you're Eastern, I'm Central. So you're an
Right.
hour ahead, So it kind of
Right.
sucks for you if you have plans, the next day, then we have to push it a different day or earlier or whatever. Same with me. Sundays work good for me right now, just
Sunday's
until
fine right now. Yeah.
yeah. So expect that for a little while, at least for a few weeks, and then we'll figure that out. But
Right.
I tell you what, in a couple weeks, the local casino is having in my town of I live 40 miles from the local casino, a little town called Thief River Falls, Minnesota, and we're finally getting our first band in like a few years. It's been since the last time they had any musical acts. And who do you think they would get for it's a country band, but who do you think all the country people out there that they might have picked for us to
I have to say Jelly Roll.
yeah. The freaking place would go bankrupt, Jelly Roll. He was in Fargo. Which is like not too far from
Pittsburgh too. I don't know a lot of people don't know. I own a bar in Pittsburgh too.
Yeah.
Called Johnny's Bar. It used to be Hot Rod Cafe. It's called Johnny's Bar now. But like he was in Pittsburgh not too long ago. So I'm affiliated with Pittsburgh, Ohio. I got things down Florida. But he would. I wish I could have won Salt Jelly Roll. I'm not a big country fan, but I think that guy is dynamite.
Well,
I think he is so dynamite.
I hate to disappoint you, but maybe it's not a disappointment. But the band is Sawyer Brown. You know Sawyer Brown at all?
Yeah.
They have an interesting story of how they got noticed. I think they was through like a Star Search competition or something back in the day. I believe is where they got their starts from.
Right.
You remember Star Search with Ed McMahon?
Hey, McMahon, right? Yeah, I remember. Matter of fact, I think I seen a clip with them on that show.
Okay.
They had a clip. Yeah, they had a clip out there with that.
They do a lot of good like road songs, like 6 Days on the Road. That's a good song. It's a.
They're good. I mean, I think they'll work out fine.
Yeah, I was surprised. Obviously, I was surprised. That our casino got them going because the reason why I guess we haven't had a band in so long is because either it was because of the pandemic or because of the fact that our casino locally still has no event center, and the one that's like an hour and a half away from me does over in Melbourne. That's a Shooting Star, and they've had an event center for like 30 years. And they get everybody. We just had Trace Atkins not too long ago come by.
Really?
And next month we're getting Tommy James and the Shandells coming.
See, I like that band.
Yeah. I might go down and see them maybe. That's in September.
You go see any comedy shows? I mean, is there any comedy shows lately?
Well, we got Jeff Dunham coming to Fargo and Bemidji.
Oh, yeah.
in September and October. See, I live in northern Minnesota, so I'm not too far from Grand Forks, North Dakota, not too far from South Dakota, about 6 hours away from the cities. Because everybody, when they think of Minnesota, most people think of Minneapolis, and that's
Right,
not
right.
Minnesota. That's just a pinch of Minnesota, a little
Right.
pinch. There's so
Right.
much more to the state than you think. But I'm so sick and tired of people thinking that Minnesota is just Minneapolis, St. Paul. You know, so when we get a concert going, we gotta go to the cities. You know, there's nobody that lives up in Minnesota, northern Minnesota, and the central and the western and eastern and all that. Just
Right.
Minneapolis. It's like fuck that. You know, I mean, I love Minneapolis. It's a good area. I was happy to go to the Mall of America when I did a few years ago. You know, by myself. It was amazing. I did.
Right.
You know, I've been there a long time. I'm guessing you ever been to Minnesota at all ever?
No, never.
Yeah, come up to Minnesota, Mall of America, Minneapolis.
I've
Bloomington.
been to Sturgis, you know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I got to do a show on a stage with Joe Santana. It's a band. Joe Santana and I think it's Joe Santana and Kingfish.
okay.
There's fantastic band. They actually let me sing with them on the big stage. So I was real happy about that.
Oh,
That
I'm
was
sure.
awesome.
I'm sure the crowd really loved that. I'm sure at that
Oh, they
time.
went crazy, dude. I was Sam full gear, Sam Kinison, you know, full fucking gear. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of amazing how things work out somehow. And if you guys
Yeah.
go back to the interview that I did with you a couple of years ago, Sam here tells the story of kind of how it all happened. It is definitely an amazing story because surprising that you guys have never wrote a book yet about this experience, you know, because I'm
I
sure a
would
lot
like
of people love to.
That's one thing I like to, you know, everyone thinks it's easy what I do, you know what I mean? And it's really not, because when you portray a character, like when I did Screamin Sam for Sam Kinison, people expect you to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
And, yeah, they expect to see the Sam Kinison, like tonight. Some people might be expecting to see the Sam Kinison character, right?
Sure.
But maybe in the future it'll happen. I mean, just, you know, this beard took 2 months to grow, but I have no problem shaving it off, you know, for the shows. But you know, maybe that would help out the show too. I don't know. But you know, when you're on stage and you have to be that character, where comedians, they write their jokes. So they can go on stage and present it any way they want to make it work. I got to go on that stage and figure out, you know, what to do, how to grab his crowd. And I think I did a good job. I think I did a good job through the years.
So do you think if you still did it to this day that you'd be solid gold? If you could go on stage right now, lots of people.
I got people begging me to do it, begging me to come out. You know, and like I was on a radio show the other day, and these guys got upset with me because I kept saying, you know, I'm fucking old, my knees hurt. You know what I mean? But honestly, it's like the adrenaline I probably wouldn't feel nothing if I went on stage again.
Sure.
I actually want to do it again, but I'm thinking I just did a podcast with Pauly Shore 2 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, on Zoom. And we did it just like this. We had a 6-panel with Pauly Shore and a bunch of lookalikes, but we had to act like we were today, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, today's Sam Kinison.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if Sam Kinison was still alive, I had to act like that. Like, hey, Paul, you know, now I'm fucking taking it easy and I have a little bar in Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, Roy Sam, you know what I mean? So that's what kind of show it was. It's on YouTube under Pauly Shore.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was really cool. I mean, it was fun.
I'll have to take a look at that because are you close with Pauly at all, or was
Not
it just
close,
for?
but I mean, I met him a few times and
Okay.
we talk on the phone. I got his phone number and stuff, but
Okay.
yeah, I got a neighbor friend of mine, this kid Vance. He looks exactly like the young Pauly Shore. He got the long curl, honest to God, and he's so fun to hang out with because he sort of acts like Pauly. Never knew who Pauly was until I told him. Then he started watching his movies, and it's scary. He's how much. One of these days we'll have to have him on the show.
Well, what's kind of funny about what I heard about Pauly, what I didn't know was that his mom started the Comedy Store.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
So maybe that's why he's gotten so big and everything. Because I didn't know where this guy came from years ago, and then all of a sudden here he is in Hollywood, and now he's one of the biggest names in Hollywood for comedy anyway.
No, I'll be honest with you. I mean, he's a good guy and everything, but I don't know about. I mean, I'm not a big fan of his comedy.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I
Of course
like him.
you, of course Sam Kinison would not be a fan of Pauly Shore.
No offense to Paulie. I love Paulie. I really do. I mean, some things are funny. Yeah, but I mean, I saw him a few times. You know what I'm saying? And he brought me up on stage a couple of times, which was cool. You know, and he says, "This is my buddy Sam Kinison." You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty cool. Carl LaBeouf brought me on stage a lot of times. You know, Jimmy Schubert. I mean, they're just all these guys I got to meet. Fantastic, man. And they support me 100% of what I did. But it was a lot of fun meeting all these people, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, I'm
great.
sure. It's nice being recognized and stuff for just a talent that you didn't even know you had, just because you happen to look like them. And that's the funny thing about too. It's like when you look like somebody, you don't. So maybe to you, you probably didn't see any talent at all. You just like, well, I happen just to look like him. What might sound like a like Femi or whatever is a Femi version of Sam Kinison.
Right.
That's not what Sam would be proud of.
Well,
It seemed like it just came natural to you, the look and the sound.
It's like this, man. Like, I'm not Sam Kinison. I am not Sam Kinison. Everybody knows I'm not Sam Kinison. You get some comedians that are going, "Oh, he thinks he's Sam Kinison. He does all Sam Kinison jokes." But what I used to do, people don't know, is I used to write some jokes too and slide it in there. And a lot of people would be like, after the show, they'd be like, "Man, I didn't know Sam wrote that bit." And I went, "He did, and I did." You know what I mean? But I slid it in there because Sam Kinison, if you listen to Sam Kinison now, he's so far advanced in his comedy that you can listen to today. It's almost like it's done today.
Sure.
Some of the shit that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I just try to keep the memory alive for the Kinnisons. I did my best keeping them alive. I mean, I begged to be on the movie they were going to do. You know what I mean? I understand they have to use named actors, whatever. But I had a lot of fun when I did. I don't regret one thing. There's bars I went to wouldn't let me in there because they were going, "We don't want to hear that. We know how Sam Kinison is. We don't need that here." There was places I did, like down to some place in Orlando, Fort Myers. It's called the Lonnie Kai.
Oh.
And we had all old people upstairs. And it was me. It was a Rod Stewart lookalike, and I forget who the other person was. So it had nothing to do with Sam Kinison. You know what I mean? Like, so they put my act last, and my manager came up and said, "Listen, if you do some of your jokes, try to do them at the end so we don't lose these people." You know what I mean? So I thought about it, and I said, "I can't do that. I got to keep in order." And I went up there and I slammed it, man. And all these old people, not one person left. And they were asking me for my room. They were trying to give me their room numbers. These 80-year-old ladies. "Hey, when you come to my room, honey?" I was talking about eating pussy and shit like that. You know what I
mean? Well, maybe they haven't had it in a while.
So it worked out to my advantage. I could have known some old ladies, man.
That's crazy. That's a little nuts there, I would say. But and not to get too personal. I mean, well, obviously, I'm going to get personal with you because I know you more than anybody else. Like, okay, you have a grandson, and your grandson looks, exactly like you, like a younger version of you, even though he's your son's son.
Right?
Is that kind of weird?
Son.
Or daughter's son or whatever. I get them mixed up, I guess. But like, is that a little weird though? It's just like he looks just like a young version of you.
Everybody said that he looks exactly like me, and I'm like, my daughter looks just like me too, though. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And like I always said, like, if anything ever happened to me, that's the kid that's going to take my. You ever see like some people, they don't make it during their life, but when they die, they seem to live on, and people start to like them more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully my grandson takes me to that adventure.
Sure.
Puts me out there, and they'll be like, "Man, where the hell was this guy?" You know what I mean? He's the best impersonator ever. So I got a lot of content for him. A lot of nudity. I did a lot of shit with stars and good friends with Ron Jeremy. So I did a lot of shit with girls. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I shoved cell phones up her vaginas. I mean, whatever I could do to get entertainment. We could do that too on this show, can't we?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Here, let me shove this up my ass here real quick. Here, please.
I'm only kidding.
I tell
We
you,
won't turn
nobody
this-
wants
we
to
won't
see
turn
that.
Hey, we won't turn this into a porn convention.
No, please, we won't go that far. I mean, the language is great, but like I said, we're not trying to be like Howard Stern. We're only trying to be like ourselves, but in a different world where people get offended about everything. So maybe somebody ever got offended by me saying I'm gonna shove this up my ass, but oh well, let them be then, I guess.
So what? I
Well-
don't give a fuck about offended people, because you know what? Grow a set of fucking balls. This is 2020. This is 2023.
Yeah,
Fucking
but what if
live
they
your
don't?
life.
What if they don't have balls? Some people don't have
I
balls.
know.
What about them? Do they not have courage? Grow some boobs. Then.
Some girls do have balls. You know that, right? Like Kate Jenner. Yeah.
Oh boy, as a whole
We
other,
won't get into that.
as a whole other ball of wax, as they say. With the
We
good
won't
old
get into
puns,
that.
I guess. But anyway, as far as everything else goes, just as far as this podcast goes, I just feel like we're gonna bloom into something. We don't know what it'll be like, weeks on end, but I figured that everybody has a good segment, and that's what's also what people get people's attention. Find a good segment. So my challenge to you, Sam, the next time we go on is to try to keep up with the local news. I know you don't like to, but at least on Facebook at least, and see
Right,
what's going out there, and come back and share some, maybe your own parody of the news, or what Sam Kinison would say about today's world or whatever. I'm
Right.
sure he would have a lot to say. I'm sure.
Well, you have to understand something. If we happen to get Waterboy on the show, he was our news guy, and the way he told the news, this guy couldn't tell a joke for life. He made it more funny. You're trying to do a punchline.
Okay.
He always told us a couple of jokes, but no one laughed. And he would give us the news, which was the fucking worst news ever. He'd bring up events that just happened that day. I'd be like, dude, I knew you were going to do that. It's fucking too soon, you asshole. You know what I mean?
So he got
two for that one.
okay. Maybe that's probably what we'll do then. We'll just wait. We'll
If
just
we
wait
could
until he
get
gets on.
Waterboy on just for the news, it'd be funny.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need somebody to keep up with that, because there's a lot of I wasn't going to try to make this show too political, because I hate politics, but how can you not when everything's just happening the way it is?
How can you not do politics? I know. I
Exactly.
hate it myself.
Yeah, it brings out the worst in people and everything, and we really see everybody's true colors. But if you're a proud American, you're always going to be a proud American. Unless you live in Canada, then you'd be a proud Canadian, or a proud Mexican or whatever.
Growing up, I was taught to respect my elders, respect our president, respect our police officers. I was taught respect. Nowadays, there is no respect. They want to defund the police. They want to. Everyone makes fun of the presidents. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a Republican. My whole family's Democrat, and I fight with them every time I see them. And I'll be honest with you, I feel bad for Joe Biden. I mean, when he falls up a set of steps, everyone makes a joke of it. I actually feel bad for him, because I know he really doesn't want to do that.
Yeah,
I think he's forced to, which we'll save up for another show. But
Sure.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you.
I feel bad for him. I respect him in a way. I don't think he calls any shots.
Yeah,
You know
that's what a lot of people think about the president. It's probably true. Maybe there's somebody else that's behind all this and whatever.
Right.
But then why do we even have a president? Just to be, they like to say that there are our puppeteer or whatever, America. But it's
Exactly.
why do we need that then?
I hate to say this word, but that's why they hate the big guy, Trump, is because he doesn't go by the rules and they're afraid of him.
He was pretty hilarious in his run.
Listen, when he's preaching, when he's up, not preaching, when he's up there talking, I cringe. You know what I mean? I cringe like, oh, what the fuck is he gonna say now? But people love that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was pretty. I mean, even if he wasn't trying to be hilarious, just him talking is hilarious enough to me. It doesn't matter what it's about. He could talk about the word cookie or whatever, it'd be funny.
Right. So if you think about it, you got Ronald Reagan, who was an actor, is just like Trump. No one liked Ronald Reagan either, but he did good for us.
Oh yeah.
And who else I like to tell you? I'll be honest with you. I liked Clinton. I mean, not too many presidents get to bang fat chicks in the Oval Office.
Yeah,
I like Clinton, and I also liked Obama in the beginning. I thought that's one guy I could sit and listen to when he made his speeches and stuff. The best guy I think I ever heard speech.
he's a good talker. I mean, that is for sure. He not only just because he sounds like The Rock as far as the
I don't
wrestling.
have nothing against the presidents. I really don't, because a lot of them, like you said before, they're puppets. They don't fully, control everything. But
I really hate to call them puppets
your far
too.
lefts and you got your far rights, man. They control everything.
Sure. Well, I'm
Yeah.
sure it's everybody behind the scenes that we see on TV, the old people that, should be retired by now, and let some new people get some new fresh blood in there. But it seems like they don't want that. Everybody wants the
No.
old people to, I mean, nothing against old people doing stuff. Hey, you can do whatever you want. You want to work until you die, work till you die. But it's like Nancy Pelosi should just be gone. She should be retired.
I thought she was retired. Like I said,
Yeah, but no, she's still there. She's just not doing what she was doing.
I'll be honest with you, dude. After they fired Tucker on Fox, I quit watching news. I told you that. I quit watching news altogether.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, I don't know the whole story. No one knows the whole story, but
Sure.
That was my favorite show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Greg Gutfeld's good. And I like Jesse too. I watch Jesse Waters every once in a while too, because he's funny.
Sure.
I like comedy, so he's.
I mean, I noticed that Fox Nation was doing like the Fox Nation app or whatever was doing like comedy shows. They brought Roseanne back, which I thought was pretty cool because I've always loved Roseanne. I think she got the shit end of the stick, if you really wanted my opinion on that, because
she did.
She was one of the legends of comedy, and just how you treat somebody, who's a legend. You erase them from society. The same thing what they're doing with Bill Cosby and all that too. I mean, I realize he might have done wrong, but honestly, come on, he's an old guy now. If it was such a big deal then, at that time, they should have done something about it then. The prime of his career, instead of waiting until he's like almost time to pass away, to start doing something.
No,
it's
Jared,
not right, but
no, Jared, keep that motherfucker in jail. See, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we don't need his footlong dangling around anymore.
Shove those hoagies up his ass. I don't give a fuck.
Let him regain yeah. I don't know. To me, it's just like I don't understand like the cancel culture and all that stuff. I hate that type of thing. I understand more. It's like your way of or people's way of just like of fighting back or whatever. But it's like you're ruining pop culture. You're ruining life. A lot of the kids nowadays won't have any idea who some of these legends are. And I think people should know who Roseanne is, because she has a lot of good too, not just what she's a little weird sometimes, but isn't everybody weird? Wasn't Sam weird too? I mean, of course.
Yep.
But you know what? He had good taste, and he was a good speaker, and he could bullshit with the best of them and still make sense and still be a successful person to life and in death. So people gotta remember he was also a preacher. Has that experience too, that he preached before he became, comedian and all that stuff. So it's like, but he was weird. Ad United Clay was weird. Everybody's weird.
One of my favorite comedians was Ralphie May.
Yeah,
he was. I mean, he didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a shit what he said on TV. He just cut them all. He cut everybody down. Which I like that, and to be able to get away with it. But then again, you got your comedians like Sinbad, who didn't need to swear, and he was funny. Sure. But it's different,
Yeah, but, I mean, some people just I don't know, and that's the thing about it too. Have you ever heard of this dry bar comedy deal before?
Yeah. That's
interesting, because they got all these funny people who could swear up a storm if they really wanted to, but they choose not to, and they have a perfect stand-up set. It's amazing. They had Kevin Farley on, and Kevin Farley, Chris Farley's brother, and from what I remember, is not a person who doesn't swear. Like he swears in his shows. Most of the time he does, because when I interviewed him a couple times, he always had some dirty jokes to tell me, which were hilarious. But in this set on the Dry Bar Comedy app, no swearing at all, just telling stories and stuff and having a good time. It's just so It's so weird to me. That'd be like Sam just going on, like I've seen some interviews with Sam too on TV and not being allowed to swear and just having a conversation. It's like, see, people can be human beings if they want to be.
Right. And you're right.
So, yeah. So, I mean, like I said, today it's just a pilot. We don't really have a whole lot figured out. I think we're probably going to be done here a little bit anyway. But is there anything else you have on your mind at all before we end it?
Not really. Like I said, I really didn't think of nothing because, like I said, sometimes the best thing is get on there and
Sure.
and just do it. But once we start having guests, you get planned shit. You get
Oh, absolutely. And and you and I will have private conversations and we'll chat about it later in the week.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
You know my number.
Yep. And I get a hold of you on Messenger too sometimes.
If you think I like someone, I think I was your sister, let them talk. Maybe that's me. I do over talk people.
No, I think that's me. I think me talking over you.
It was me.
It's both of us. We like to talk to each other.
I'm bad at that. Like I'm old.
Yeah.
Like if I think of something while I'm talking to somebody, I cut their conversations and say what I have to say because I'll forget what I was going to say. And everybody gets mad at me at work about that. And I apologize, but I'm going to let you know something. Before Vince comes on, he gets out of control a little bit, but we can settle him down. You can shut off mics, right?
Well, I mean, I can. I don't want to, but I can. Sure, we can mute everybody.
He's a lot of fun. Like he's been abducted by aliens.
Let's see if we can get him on next week. Then talk to him and see if he's willing to come on. We'll figure out if he doesn't want to do video. That's fine. He can just
he'll do video. It was a couple other friends of mine. They're really like, how can I put it? Like they think the world's flat and stuff like that. They're conspiracies.
Wow.
They're conspirators. Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's fine. Let's get them on too. Why not?
Talking to them sometimes. When you're talking to them, sometimes I'm thinking, how do I know these guys ain't right? You know what I mean? Like they don't believe in God, I guess. They believe in the aliens. I don't know.
They believe in ET and Phone Home and all that stuff.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I think that stuff's pretty interesting. And that would make a great show.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder how you got in contact with them in the first place.
Right.
It's interesting. I have unique friends too, but most of my unique friends are too afraid to be on camera. They don't want to, they or audio or nothing. They want nothing to do with it. They want to be not even heard or talked to. They just be like, Sean, you do what you got to do, and we'll leave us alone. So like, thanks for your help. Thanks for your support, friends. I appreciate it. So
yeah, a lot of people are afraid to get on the fucking the tube.
Well, are they afraid they're gonna get canceled too? Nobody knows you, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, we're big enough right now, right? They're gonna see us and fucking cancel us and put us in jail. Please.
Yeah.
Bigger. Then people look at our show every week, wonder what the fuck we did wrong.
Yeah, and if we can get a cell together, if you can fly one of us either to Minnesota or to Pittsburgh, we'll meet you halfway or whatever.
One of these nights, I like to do a show at my bar while we're doing this.
Sure.
Have the bar in the background.
I'd love to see your bar because I've never seen it. Like I don't think I've seen
people that are drunk. They'll be funny.
Oh, sure. They'll tell some jokes or whatever. What the heck,
Right.
And if you tell people you do a live streaming podcast, then you'll get fans that'll be paying attention. They'll be like, oh, this is cool. So, all right. Well, that's all I have for this week anyway for the pilot edition. And
it was a great test.
Yes, a great test.
Not to talk over you. I mean,
we'll work on that. There's probably a little lag too. You have to understand with the internet. It's like lag sometimes. It's not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's
right.
Yeah, it's just the internet. Whatever.
I had fun, man.
Yeah, I had fun too, and thanks for joining us for this pilot edition of whatever we're going to call it. Maybe be Renegade Radio, maybe Rush Hour Renegades. I don't know. I like the Renegade title. It sounds badass, kind of. I like that. Okay. So please, like the video as well as kind of follow our social medias if you see that we're tagged, and send those stars because that helps us. That gives us the funding we need. I don't know how much funding, but it'll give us something to get more production, but better production value in the future for what we plan to do. So we'll see.
We should put the Renegade with Sean Slauson and Screamin Sam. You know what I mean?
I might do the Frankie thing because Frankie sounds more badass than Sean, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I might just go with that instead.
Is that
But
what you
people
just
see,
call- is that Frankie? That's it.
well, Frankie Slauson.
Oh, Frank
Yeah.
Slauson. Okay.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know,
Frankie's
sounds
cool.
Frankie's like an old 50s name, kind of like, the rock and roll era. I always think of that when I think of that name. It's like I belong to the T-Birds or something like that in Greece or something.
Yeah,
I'm a
I don't wanna
greaser,
use
dude.
John Lutz. You know what I mean? I don't want to use
Yeah.
that. Screaming Sam has, and you never know. Next week I might have it maybe trimmed down to just a little goat
Yeah.
where I still look like Sam, and
Yeah.
we'll slowly bring him out of retirement.
And we know that it won't take you long to grow the beard backs before Christmas. So it's like,
This is 2 months.
2 months. Perfect.
Yeah.
Dude. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, you
All
grow back.
right. All right,
Okay.
man. Well, we appreciate you and thanks for tuning in. And if you'll like the video, and we'll see you next week for another great episode of this pilot episode.
Thank you, sir.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.